All right, so here's our question. I'm going to be around my sister's boyfriend during Christmas. Isn't it amazing how siblings don't always pick the best boyfriends and girlfriends? Anyway, during Christmas, and I'm dreading it because of his condescending attitude towards my family. Wow, there's a great start to Christmas, right? Hey, let's bring in the guy that puts us down. Wow, tie a bow on that one. I get nervous around him and feel intimidated and embarrassed by some of my family's dysfunction that he sees. How do I manage my feelings and lack of confidence and get into a place where I can enjoy myself without being bothered by him or constantly thinking about his disapproval? Hey, that's such a great question. I'm going to broaden it past the particulars that you gave us because I think everybody has some place where this happens. I'm going to make it specific to you. I'm going to make it specific to the context. Remember, when addressing things, we always have to do these three things: make it specific to you, specific to the context, and also specific to what you got to do about the dynamic itself, kind of managing it. All right, so here we go. This guy is not causing your feelings. All right, now I'm going to start there. This guy is not causing your feelings. All right. Let me give you an example. You wake up in the morning, you got a house full of people, it rains outside. One of them wakes up, says, "Oh my gosh, it's raining. This is so awesome. What a great day to sit by the fire and read that book I've been wanting to read." Somebody else wakes up, "What? It's raining? I was planning on going to the park today." All right, now here's what I mean. Now, no, well, mostly. You take PTSD out of it because that's by definition rain that nobody can survive. All right. But mostly when you're talking about issues that get to us involving how other people are just acting, I mean, if they're not like attacking you or something abusive, I'm not talking about that either. So don't get upset if you think I'm devaluing abuse and attack. But you're talking about being around an annoying person. All right. So what happens in this is that person's comments, that person's attitude, the condescension, and all of that. It only has power. The rain only has power if the house has a leak in the roof. And so when we have a leak in our head, when somebody's dysfunction can get in and give us a wet brain, then we begin to feel intimidated. We begin to feel, all this kind of stuff. All right. So the point I'm trying to make here is the power, the control, the steering wheel, all of this is under your control, not his. Now let's start there. This person does not have intrinsically the power to make you feel crummy. All right. Now, that being said, this is when I said it has to do with us and the dynamics. That being said, we do, and we all do, have tender spots inside of us. Okay, we got a leak in the roof that certain people can trigger. All right, there's certain kinds of people that bug me, like, "Rrr," and I got to work on it because I think the healthiest thing in life is when we can love everybody, even our enemies. And there are some people that are hard for me to love, but so I'm not, throwing stones here when I say, you got to work on the inside. So here's the deal. Generally, this is a little bit of an overstatement, but generally, there is a voice inside of our heads, a structure or a collection of memories. All right. The way your brain works is your brain makes maps of the world in order to survive. All right. In order to function. I just went before I came on the show. I just went up and went down to the kitchen and got me a cup of coffee. All right. How in the world did I do that? Because my brain had a map, knows how to do it. Why? From experience. All right. And when I went down there, I didn't experience anxiety. I experienced, this coffee's going to be so good. But see, my map and what I was doing, my body responds in this feeling of anticipation and joy. I'm going to get my coffee. All right. Well, somewhere in your life, you probably had some experiences that have made you feel small. Let's look at the words you used here: intimidated, and embarrassed. Intimidated by him. Intimidated. Think about that. We become timid, little, weak, afraid, shrinking, getting smaller until we kind of are not all of a person like we were before that moment. So he comes in and raises himself up in this power mode, and you start to get smaller. Well, when you're small in a big person's world, oh my gosh, how scary can that be? So what's happening is he's tapping into some network inside of you, a construction inside your head. We call it a structure, right? A program. And that memory system gets tapped. And now your body is doing exactly what it's supposed to do. It's starting to protect you. And somewhere you learned in your life, you learn the way to stay psychologically safe around people that want to be above me is to become small and don't interfere. All right. That's your fight or flight or freeze mechanism at work, just how it's designed to work. Good job. You're becoming intimidated by power. Okay. If gunmen came in my house right now, I probably should just shut up and get in line and figure out a strategy. But I shouldn't try to punch them out if they got a gun. All right, fight. I'm not going to fight them. If I'm not going to fight them, I can't flee, fight, or flight. What am I going to do? I'm going to freeze. All right, so that's what's happening here. All right. Now, I want you to begin to see your interpretations of him, your seeing him as this way, okay, as you described him, condescending attitude, and take him off of this power position. And I want you to begin to climb into your own skin and stop diminishing yourself and make yourself fully who you are. So I was talking about he's up here, you're down here. I want you to climb back into your skin and start to, when you have an opinion, say it. When you disagree, say it. Okay, now maybe this isn't the context, and maybe this isn't the time to work on this, but it might be. Why become less of a person because this not going to say a bad word entered your house? So I want you to at least, you don't have to say your differing opinions. You don't have to say, well, that's an interesting thought. I think of our family a different way. Sometimes that just shuts them down. You know, he's talking about the dysfunction in your family. Say, well, that's funny. I mean, I have fun because we're all so crazy. See, boom, done, gone. Just depowerized. Depowerized. And it doesn't even matter if he stays in his position. He'll probably back down like a bully. But it doesn't even matter. What matters is you've become a person a little more in that moment. And what you're doing is you're training your map. You're retraining your map that just because somebody puts themselves up doesn't mean I got to put myself down and fight or flight or freeze. I can have a voice. Now, you may not want to do that. So then the other thing I want you to do is I want you to think of some strategies. Okay. When he's in that room talking to those people, I'm going to go talk to the other parts of the family. I'm not even going to be within Well, you shouldn't be within 6 feet, 6 feet of him anyway, right? I'm going to stay 12 feet away from this yo-yo. I'm going to do double COVID. And that's another thing you can do is I want you to look at him differently. He's not intimidating. He's sick. I want you to say things in your head like, oh, that poor guy. He must be so miserable to have to look at other people that way. And then I want you to find a wingman, wingwoman in your family, somebody that thinks the way you do and thinks this guy's a nutcase. And when he starts to talk, y'all go over in the corner and say, there he goes again. So just make some strategies. But also, I really want you to work on this because I want to get an email from you next year that says, my sister kept dating that guy for 6 more months before he kicked him to the curb, or he grew up, which in his case would mean grow down. And over those 6 months, I got to where he didn't bother me at all. Now that's what I want for you. Okay.